I'll take you out. No,
Just so everybody knows, we are recording this tonight, not so that you can all feature in your own movie, but so that we can send it out to the people that couldn't be here, and hopefully maybe some of the questions that you guys might have, they might also have. So we're just trying to make everybody feel included. So hi, my name is Helen. For those of you that I haven't gone around and met, I will certainly try to do so. Some of the parents of the girls I already know because I've been involved with the girls team, but particularly the boys. I'm really sorry if I don't remember your name the first time, but I'll certainly keep trying. This evening we're going to try not to jam too much information down your throat, but we're going to try and wind up probably between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, so about an hour's time. We're going to have a guest speaker who's kindly come along to inspire you all. I'm going to speak again, and we're just going to go over sort of the budget and if you have any concerns over that. And then Ken and Ian are going to speak about the program and training for the next 6 months. And then after that, we'll actually open the floor for questions from people. So if you could try to keep background noise to a minimum so that we can get a really good recording, that would be greatly appreciated. Hopefully we'll have a really nice evening. So 6 months basically till we leave, lots of training to do, lots of fun too. You guys have got an awesome opportunity in front of you, and there's nobody that knows that better than Mr. Shane Bulletich. He has represented New Zealand I don't know how many times, and is a very inspirational player. He hasn't played as much lately, so some of you guys won't know, some of you will have seen him in action, some of you may have heard of him. So I'm going to introduce him to you all, parents and players, so you can hear some words from the legend himself. Come on up, Jane.
My name's Shane. I started playing ultimate frisbee when I was 23, so very late relative to all of you. The only reason I started so late was because that was when I found it. There were very few people playing at that point in time, probably a little player base of probably 20 people. I just happened to know someone who knew someone who played off frisbee, and I used to like playing frisbee. I played some volleyball, played a lot of sports that actually lent themselves really well to frisbee. When I discovered it, someone told me about it, I came down. Playing it, never looked back, dropped in other sports. I used to be a high-level soccer player, played on the national beach volleyball tour, did a whole bunch of high-level sports, had pathways in those sports, and found frisbee and just dropped all of that for the sport that didn't pay you any money. In fact, cost me a lot of money, cost me a lot of time, but there are a lot of good reasons for doing that. And tonight was just an opportunity for me to share with the athletes some of the opportunities that the sport gave me. And you're at the beginning of that pathway, you've got all sorts of options. I just want to give you an insight into what you could be and what you could become through the sport, what you can achieve personally and beyond that. To the parents as well, just put your minds at ease that with your children going into a good, healthy, positive sport. I have 3 children now. It's one of the reasons I don't get on the field so much. 8, 6 and 3. So I know very well from the parent perspective what you worry about when you go and put your children in different environments, and particularly at this age. I don't have that experience yet of sending teenagers out to the world. But I know just sending an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old somewhere, I'm on them like a hawk all the time. I really are. So I'll speak to both of those things. From an athlete perspective, started when I was 23, got the opportunity very quickly, as you guys have, to go to the World Championship and to we were playing for 6 or 7 months. Got recognised as a good runner, couldn't throw so myself, but could run and jump and catch, and made the New Zealand Open team. We would have played in Vancouver in 1997. That was my first World Champs. And just got absolutely hooked on the opportunity to travel halfway across the world. I was 23 at the time, so I tacked on a trip after that in the US and travelled by myself through the US and with a few frisbee mates for a while. And just started to open my eyes. That was the beginning of being mature as a person. Frisbee gave me that initial go. I would never have gone and done that sort of thing without the catalyst of sport and team to surround me and go and do that. So I went and did that, and then really started getting into the international thing and job. Probably don't hear that, parents, but quit my job, and actually I took 3 months unpaid leave to go and follow my dream in the US. US is the best place in the world for frisbee, and I went and asked for 3 months leave to go and play a competitive season and push up the league team in the US, and then we played that just to see how it worked. That was 25, 26, and then did a series of world championships after that. So the opportunities that I had through the sport, it just opened up a massive network of opportunities for me in terms of being able to go and travel with a group of very good, positive people, go and test myself as an athlete, which was really important. So I found all these competitive pathways and competed at the highest level, and made a whole bunch of friends around the world. That's probably the biggest thing. I've got friends all over the world now who I can call up, and if I turn up in the US or Australia or most countries in Europe, I have a place to stay, a friend, a place to go, a tap and go and get down frisbee pretty much any day of the week. So the opportunities for me to be a global person were opened up through ultimate frisbee. Definitely would have had the opportunity if I just put that back on and traipsed around the world. But the whole frisbee scene sounds like a cult. In a way, it kind of is, in that it creates a community for you that you become very, very fond of. The reason you become fond of it is because it's a really positive environment. You're surrounded by athletic, healthy, positive people. If you look around this room and you profile every person in this room, you find that everyone will profile pretty much the same. They're all sort of athletically inclined, healthy, probably do pretty well at school. And so, as a parent, you couldn't think of a better group of kids and peers that you want kids hanging out with. And also, you couldn't think of a better group of role models. These sorts of people who are the tier up above, who are training these kids and showing them how to live life properly. Going back to my soccer background, I was, because of a pretty good player as a youth, I often played above my age group, so I was playing seniors at 14, 15 years old. The culture there was, despite the fact that we were playing very competitively, the culture was go and train hard and then you go to the pub rooms and drink beer, which to me seemed really strange. You get caught up in it. And then the seniors, that philosophy continues where you go and play the game, you go to the club rooms and have beer. And the thing I found refreshing about Ultimate was that it didn't encourage that. In fact, it was actively discouraged. You couldn't really do it because of the fitness requirement of Ultimate Frisbee. It's higher in line than soccer. Most other sports, you just simply can't do it. You don't do that to the body. You're not going to do that before you do that stuff. So I found, personally, the healthiness and wholesomeness of the environment suited me just fine. I wanted to be an athlete. Player, so drinks afterwards. Although there is a big social scene in Frisbee, it's just not this fringe culture. So from a personal perspective, huge opportunities to be the best athlete I can be. Parents are happy about it. And I guess just development. Other opportunities that the sport gave me were, after I came back from the champs in Vancouver at the age of 23, I decided there wasn't enough ultimate frisbee played in this country. I wanted to play lots more, and so I created some tournaments. So it gave me the opportunity to be an organiser. At the age of 23, I was organising tournaments in Rotorua and Taupo, nationals, competitions, and I was able to learn the skill set and be given the trust to hand thousands of dollars and organise these tournaments for my peers. And these guys do this now as well. But at the age of 18, 20, 23, was really valuable skills, and the skills that carried me into the job market. Use them as exemplars of why I should be employed over something else in a professional career. I'm a consultant, government, these are important things. And strangely enough, I noticed the Frisbee government, down at all the ministries of Wellington and Auckland, they recognise me as part of my identity, for better or for worse, but it distinguishes me from others. So I developed an excellent skill set through the opportunities I was given to be an administrator and an organiser within the sport, just the self-responsibility that the sport taught me was very good. So personally, I'm 40 years old now, so playing for 17 years, and I definitely look back on it 17 years with a lot of pride, and I definitely don't think I would have achieved life generally, what they achieve in the sport. The other interesting thing from player and parent perspective is that probably I always tell coach juniors there a couple of years ago, I always tell the juniors to look around the field. There's usually boys and girls playing in the same field. And statistically, they don't know numbers, but probably there's a 60% chance that your future husband or wife is on that field. It would be certainly true in this group. In fact, it's 100% probably. My wife's a frisbee player. At one point, we had a co-ed team where pretty much we had 8 couples.
Our goal isn't to make that happen this It's okay if that happens later in life.
Indeed, but yeah, so I might have screwed that one up. But anyway, it's it just goes to show that sort of like minds attract, and it's a nice circle of people. So it does happen. There's no marrying, going up with a person, somebody that trust, and you keep an eye on them because you're at the same time. So from a parent perspective, I think it's a very wholesome sport. It's certainly worth, from a player and parent perspective, it's worth the investment. It sounds like a lot of money when I was a student, shelling out $6,000, $5,000, $6,000 in the this kind of thing. It was a lot of money back then. When I look back, what I know, that was a real investment in myself as a person, and my growth as a person. It's been very, very, very well spent to pay yourself back to be a person many times over, just through the efforts, the skills that I've developed, the experiences that I've had. That's what life's about. So, I couldn't say too much about the sport. I'm passionate about it. It's an excellent decision if you're an athlete. You can achieve whatever you want as an athlete in the sport. There's nothing that constrains you on the field. You can jump as high as you can jump, you can run as fast as you can run, you can throw as good as you can throw. No constraints on it. It's pretty small to get around. New Zealand at the moment, I would say in 5 years' time, this group, the guys coming through now, are going to lift the bar a lot. Existing players. From a parent perspective, couldn't ask for better support for children. It's positive, healthy, wholesome. It's going to show them the world in a safe environment, in a safe way. With a group of friends, they're going to make friends for life. And so that's my story.
Thank you. Just give them a few words about the event that they're heading towards. So,
Worlds event. Yeah, so Worlds is just a mind-boggling experience. It's hard to describe until we get there, but imagine multiply this room by 200. There's that many kids there, all with the same talents, all the same passion as you, all in one place, all just there for the fun and the camaraderie and all. Make lifelong friends at that tournament. I know that I wasn't there, guys like Ryan and Jordan's here, but you guys met some people at Worlds a couple of years ago. A lot of people made some friends, and you'll run into them every year. That's the thing. Every year I go back to a Worlds tournament, and my group of friends, I probably if I go to a Worlds tournament, I know 200 people at the event that I've known throughout my career, and who are as hooked on sport as me. That's the other thing about sport. It's so sticky that when people get into it, they don't leave it. So this, your little cohort of people are going to go through, you're going to go to Worlds, you're going to make a bunch of friends, you're going to have a lot of fun, you're going to test yourself as an athlete, and then 2 years later you're going to do it again. You're going to see the same people, catch up, share stories, and in 2 years' time you're going to do it again. So it's just a mind-boggling experience. Frisbees flying everywhere. You get there in the morning, you see all these frisbees flying and people chasing them. It's just an inspiring, fun thing, especially for chasing frisbees. There's just nothing better than seeing a field full of athletes, really finding out athletes who know they've been training for 6 months for this, going out there and running with the best.
How many times have you been to World Champ?
That's a good question. 7 or 8, maybe 7 or 8.
7 or 8 times he's represented New Zealand.
Yeah, probably more actually. And it's worth every cent. I don't even look at the money anymore. And even back then, it was even more money for me then than it is now. It's easier now. But back then, it was never about the money. It was just where do I sign? And now then I figure out the secondary question is how do I pay for this? It was never a question of will I go, it was always a question of how am I going to pay for this, and how hard am I going to have to work, how many jobs am I going to have to get to go. And it really is that good when you look in hindsight and you're standing up here in 5 or 10 years and inspiring the next generation. But my advice would be don't miss the opportunity. I know it's difficult, financially difficult. If you can't get over the hill, you can't get over the hill. But if there's a way to get over the hill, get over it. Because it will be an outstanding life experience in the first year. Any questions?
Anyone got any questions for Shane? No? Give him a round of applause. So, as I said before, not many faces in this room have been around as long as Shane has, particularly in the ultimate community, and seeing how inspiring he was for me, and hopefully you guys are also going to be for your next generation as well.
It's probably true that some of these people were born when I started playing. I was just doing maths.
Quite possible.
It's a guarantee, actually.
Awesome.
Sorry.
So now I'm going to speak very briefly about our budget. So I've sent information out to everybody, and if you haven't received it, please let me know, because it obviously means that I don't have email addresses for either you or your parents or one or other of you. We've got a total cost, which is $6,745 at the moment. Obviously for us, that is, we've had to take into account 3 training camps, which one of those is including a tournament, and getting you all the way over to Italy for accommodation and things over there for several weeks, and getting you back again nice and safely. We've tried to minimise that in terms of money that NZU is going to be contributing. So New Zealand Ultimate has put some money towards the program both this year and next year, so that will be helping reduce some costs. We will also be applying for grants where we can. We're in a good position right now that we're going to be able to start nice and early. It gives us some more opportunity to go after as much as we can. Initially we will be going after costs for uniforms, because it's quite a common thing to do, and also to cover coaches and management travel. Obviously the more we can get in grants, the less of a cost it is for you guys. And the things that it does include, your flights for our outside of Auckland athletes to get to each of the training camps. The costs of the actual training camps, obviously there's food for you while you're training, there's the fields, if we do an activity, a team bonding activity on the Saturday night as well. And then with getting to Italy, there's the flights again for the outside of Aucklanders to get up to Auckland, to do the training camp that weekend before. There's flights to Italy, there's several nights accommodation, so both before and after the tournament, which are not included in the tournament fee. There is a day of sightseeing, which will likely be in Milan, a bit of a sightseeing experience for the kids. Not too much, because that's not really the focus of why we're going, but you are going all that way, and it would be a shame to not see something while you're there. Then also covers the tournament accommodation and meals for the duration of the tournament. Your entry fee, so unfortunately it's not free, but they have to cover the costs as well. They've got fields and things to pay for. As well as your uniforms, which is your playing strip, your travelling top, bags, and a hat as well. It's super important. You're going to be going over there in the middle of summer. And it does also cover travel insurance. So it gives you an idea of everything that we've tried to work into this budget, and obviously when we can reduce costs, we certainly do our best to do that. Because we've got a large number of players in Auckland in particular, it does work out cheaper for us to fly the outside of Auckland players to Auckland, and then that is where we rely on billets quite heavily to help reduce costs. So again, we're not having to pay to put them up in a hotel or anything like that for the night. In terms of fundraising, unfortunately I'm just one person and there's not a huge lot that I can do to fundraise. That's where it comes back on to players in particular. It's not just about your parents forking out the money for it, alright? You've got to do just as much to help yourselves get there, alright? if there are people that are interested in fundraising, because not everybody is, I'd like you to let me know. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and form a bit of a group with some parents as the players and as a driver to get those fundraising groups going. All right. Not everybody has to be involved, but if you are thinking that that's a good option for you, let me know and we'll try and help you do that. We certainly will support in any way we can in terms of writing letters for corporate sponsorship. If you work for a company that would be interested in putting some money towards it, we can certainly do things like that. Okay, and if you do have a brilliant fundraising idea, but you're not interested in doing it yourself, feel free to fire it through to me, and we can certainly let those people that are interested know about it. All right, so I've done a hard part. Now Ken and Ian are going to come up and speak to you about their program, in particular the training for the next 6 months.
Alright, so I'm Ian Stewart, I'm the girls coach, and Ken and I have put together a program. We focus sort of really hard on trying to balance the fact that we know there's a lot of new people. Ken's got a few returners from Ireland, but for most of the people here, they're starting fresh. So we need to be able to get from a level that's somewhere down here to a level that's up there to compete appropriately at the World's Championships. So we need to have enough of a training system that's a good option. But obviously, we need to keep into factor that we need to keep costs down and can't have people here, can't fly people up all the time. We're also very mindful of the fact that the stage of life that the students, the players are at, right, most of them are year 12, year 13 or first year at uni. It's a huge time for them. They're doing lots of different activities. Especially year 13, there's all balls, graduations, all that sort of thing. So we're very mindful of the fact that they've got other sports, other commitments. So we want them to still be able to do those while being able to commit to our program as well. So basically, if I just run through, so looking at training camp at the beginning of February, there's a tournament in Auckland called the Twin Harbour Classic, which both teams will be attending. So that'll be playing against open men's and women's teams. It's quite a good tournament because there's a lot of sort of development, adult development players playing in that tournament, so the level should be really good for our under-19s to be able to compete with older people. They're not part of our program, but also at this level. There are two events. There's the National Secondary School Championships, which is the first time that's been offered for school tournaments. If finances are going to be an issue for you, that's the sort of thing that we'd say you don't have to go to that. It is focused on the under-19s program. But if there's any way you can go away with the school to that championships, that would be fantastic. So that's the end of March. April, there's the National Junior Development Camp, which so New Zealand Ultimate is starting basically a year-round thing. So we want to basically produce a farm. Kids who come in and they roll out of that camp every 2 years into this program here. So ideally, you will be there as well. It'll be in Taupo. We'll go out down again. It'll be similar to the under-19s tournament that many of you attended, but more of a camp focus than a tournament focus that it was this year. So those two events, if finances are an issue, cut those ones, don't cut one. End of May, or it's Queen's birthday weekends, training camp number 2. And training camp 3 is in July. It'll be the weekend before we go. We're looking to leave on Monday the 14th of July. It's going to arrive on Tuesday, day in Milan on Wednesday, into Lecco on Thursday for practice games, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday to Sunday is tournament time, and then heading straight back to New Zealand. So unfortunately for school holidays it doesn't quite fit in. I was hoping for a little bit more alignment. The actual tournament is the first week of term 3 next year. At least it's not too close to exams, but it's the first week of term 3, so we won't be extending too much after the tournament. Basically, from Ken's experience from Ireland, kids are tired, they just want to go home, so we'll get back here and then they'll be able to attend school. Yeah, that's the program. Ken, did you do that? That's it.
I mean, I can give you more details on the program exactly. The boys, we've been training as a squad now for almost a year, and we just went to Australia. We're looking to add a few more players to that, and there's a couple here that are interested in joining the team, which will be wonderful. As far as the program goes, I mean, you can just anticipate that February and March are going to be very full. There's so much on at that time that it almost makes you sick. But then suddenly, April, May, and June, things slow down considerably, and our entire focus will be on the under-19s program. The guys can plan on doing a weekly training together, and then encouraged to play where they can elsewhere with their schools or with a club team and such. But all in all, I mean, I'll answer any questions you want about the program. I'll give you all the details you want. At the end of the day, I couldn't be more excited for the kids in this opportunity. We went to Ireland in 2012. The boys team, they had the most amazing time. We didn't have a girls team with us. The boys made great friends with the Irish girls. And, they were cheering each other on the sideline. It was really good. And our boys team, they just tore it up. They had so much fun. They saw some amazing things. For many of the guys, it was the first time out of the country. And this is the same thing. We get to go to Italy. George Clooney vacations in Lecco, Italy. You can't beat that. You got to go Google this place because it's amazing. It is beautiful. It's such an experience. I mean, this is more than a sport being played. This is an experience you're going to remember 20 years from now. You're going to look back on it and be like, yeah, I did that. Just like Shane. Obviously, by my accent, you can tell I moved here. I immigrated here 6 years ago, but I've been able to represent New Zealand twice, 3 if you include my coaching experience, and don't regret it for a second. Had to pay the same amount of money as you guys did, or will have to, is what I mean, and don't regret it for a second. So I hope that you want to join us. It's going to be an epic experience. So many good stories to share, and no doubt we're going to create some really good memories this time around too. The kids are going to get fit, they're going to get healthy, they're going to have some great friends, they're going to love it. So, questions about the program?
Do we have full teams? Is there a full girls team at this stage?
Yep, so based on people in here, we should have a confirmed 16 with 4 or 5 others who are I'm trying to convince to come. So yes, this time we are going.
But so what, given that we've gone through this before and you didn't make it to Ireland, is there a contingency so that they will definitely be going if we don't have the numbers? No, well, it's just we
had been here before. So the key thing is this deposit that's coming up. That's the money that says that we're going. Last time we didn't manage that particularly well, so the finances came after all the yeses. So we had lots of yeses. Finances didn't come. So this deposit will tell us. But I am expecting 16 deposits.
The boys team has 16 or 17 confirmed, a couple of guys in the room still, unsure, but we definitely have a squad. And I actually got a few guys lined up who want to get onto the squad if we allow space for them. So, but the boys is no issue; they'll definitely happen.
How many in the squad are actually newbies and not been competing for a while? I mean, are you taking a squad that you think is competitive enough?
Yep.
Or are you taking half and half of?
Yep. So for the girls team, I think there'll probably be 4 that haven't played a lot. So 12 people who've either been in this group for 2, 3, 4 years, or who have joined in the last couple of years but are playing. They play at nationals level. So the level of athletes that we're getting into the program now is certainly improving. I think given 6 months we could do really well. Jill?
Up until our first tournament, how many times a week will you train?
There'll be at least guaranteed once a week training, okay, but you will need to commit to your own throwing practice and your own fitness work, and there will be a plan in place for that. Yeah, but we'll be together at least once a week, and then hopefully you'll be playing with your schools another time a week.
Just to give Ian and the rest of the girls assurance, I purposely looked at the girls' squads in Ireland, and many of the team had very fresh people. That sounded really dodgy. Scouted. To get past the dodgy part, I wanted to see how good they were. Many of the teams did have very inexperienced players. There were some teams that literally, the girls were learning the game as they were playing. The top ones were very, they're tops. They're really good. But, looking at the girls and watching them play, you will be competitive with the other teams there. It's always so hard to gauge where you're finished because it's people you just have never seen before. You don't know what each country is going to produce each year, and it's going to fluctuate with the exception of the top four, because they're always the top four. But you'll be competitive. And as far as the boys go, same thing, assurance. Based on our program and assuming that we get the majority of the guys to say yes, we will only get beaten by better athletes because we will be the most prepared team there because we're one of the few that have been training for 2 years instead of throwing it together 6 months. The Australians haven't even picked their team yet. So they're going to try to throw this all together in the last 5 months before the tournament. So we will be the most prepared team, I can promise you that. So we will only get beat by better athletes. Simple as that.
Yeah, just on that preparation, I'm also the chairman of New Zealand Ultimate, and I'm on a lot of different international lists. And basically, about now, I'm starting to see all of the Canadians, the US, Australia, Great Britain are all advertising now for their players. Trials in February, team announced in April for their July tournaments. So hopefully we can be ahead of the curve by being together for a year already.
Approximately how many games can you expect that they'll be playing? Are there like the minimum,
Yep, so
like one a day or something? Or?
2 a day is generally the rule, and it's 7 days, so 14.
We played 9, was it 9, Ethan? Ryan?
10 games.
10 games at the tournament and 1 warm-up game. It'll be similar. So, yeah, we'll have a couple warm-up games as well. It's heaps. You'll walk away ragged and exhausted, but you'll enjoy every minute.
Yep.
Okay. No questions at all?
What airport are you flying to?
At this stage, we're looking to fly into Milan. Basically, we've got flights on hold at the moment through several different travel agencies, so we're just obviously getting a few different quotes in. Before everybody leaves tonight, I would like you to see your respective coach and give them a yes, I'm definitely in, and I will be paying my deposit by next Friday. Those deposits go to secure our flights. We then have another lot of deposits due to the travel agent to secure things like accommodation and transport due in January, which is when your second one is due, just like 2 days before we have to pay the travel agent again. And then everything after that goes towards uniforms, pains and balance for our flights, all that sort of stuff. So that's why we've got deposit due next Friday the 20th, and basically everybody's spot is open until that money is paid. That's how we know that you're definitely in. Even if you say to these guys tonight, yes, I'm really, really keen. Yes.
Did you have a manager for the boys team? You were advertising something?
That's a very good question, thank you. I've got a manager for the girls team and the boys team. They've both been advertised, and there'll be an announcement out in the next week to do with that. They'll be working alongside myself to manage different aspects of the campaign, so the training camps, helping getting funding, things like that, and finance and stuff like that. So yep, that'll be out in the next week.
If you get a sponsor and the sponsor's paying for some of these things that we'll be paying for, how is it leveled off at the end? Is the last payment reduced or
Absolutely,
something?
yep. So that last payment at the moment, which is the big one, 1145, that is subject to change due to, obviously, like I say, if we get a huge amount of money, then that will bring it right down for you guys.
Approximately, do you have any idea how much spending money the child would need?
So basically, so effectively, the budget covers, you could go with no spending money. The budget covers all of your food, all of your transport, all of your accommodation, all of your uniform, everything like that. So the only thing that you would need to spend money on is if you want to buy your own snacks, there's money in the budget for snacks. If you want to buy your own snacks, or if you want to buy stuff from Lake Italy or from the tournament, they often have merchandise.
Is that
Whether-
including your forestry?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, when we went to Ireland, the boys did bring some spending money, but I mean, isn't that right, Ryan? You didn't have to spend anything. Yeah, it was all included.
That's always nice.
Yeah, the budget is also, I mean, it is worst case scenario actually. I mean, we have to try to plan as if it's going to cost that much.
Because
We have high hopes you'll get money back or the cost will be lowered as we go through the time. We have to start with this budget. It is
So there's
worst.
not much chance of it going up at all.
almost zero chance of it going up.
So just so you know, the last, so the Australian campaign for the boys and also the Ireland campaign for the boys, we've all ended up basically getting refunds because we have managed to bring costs down towards the end. So we definitely try our best to do that.
Have you looked at the option of flying into Rome?
There is 2 more travel agents quotes coming into me tomorrow, and I have said I don't mind if we go into different airports, but you do then need to get us to Milan. So that's
Certainly Rome would be highly recommended.
okay.
24 hours in Rome.
Are you suggesting that as an experience rather than a cost saver?
It would be an experience, and I think it would be a cost up potentially.
But yeah, if you get into Rome and train up, that would be much more exciting because there are all probably study that.
Can look at that.
What should we going around
I mean, we are quite prepared for the fact that we know that Milan is expensive. That's the reality of it, and that is why this budget is what it is. The accommodation in Milan that I've seen for the travel agent at the moment is like a youth hostel, and that is in rooms of 6, so the athletes will stay together, and the management will also be there as well. And then at the tournament, they are building.
The tournament is interesting. So Lecco is a place, it's a millionaire's playground. That's where George Clooney goes on holiday. The possibility of us staying in hotels there is virtually nil. The tournament have recognised that. They're going to build, they promise, a hostel for the tournament. So it's going to house every single team for World Juniors, and then it's being used again. So 2 weeks after this tournament is the World Club Championships, which is an open age group. So New Zealand will be sending 5 teams across to that. So that's adults staying in there. So it's being used for that as well. So I'm assuming some kind of decent quality accommodation, but they're going to put the entire World Juniors into that facility. So every team will be staying in the same area. Sorry.
How much is the first deposit?
The first one, $700.
The second one?
900. I know that it's a really tough time of year, but we're 6 months out from our flights, which is why the travel agents, in order to secure flights without the prices going up, is why we have to pay it now.
You mentioned the uniform, are they giving a new uniform for
They will do? Yep. They'll have the plain strip, so dark and a light shirt, which is sort of required for the tournament.
Are you good?
That doesn't include the extra ones we want for training, right?
No, if you wish to buy more for trading night, you have to buy it.
Team school.
Oh, so we got some
Yep.
same
It's
names.
the same name, so we're not changing names. It's like, your All Blacks. You're selected to the Kahu squad.
Yeah, so probably in the region of $45 for the shoot.
Sorry. What happens if we pay our deposits and that and then the athlete is unfit through injury to travel?
Unfit due to injury, she means. So anything that we've paid already on your behalf, like securing your flights, if there's been a cost incurred for a training camp, that sort of thing, is non-refundable. So anything that hasn't been spent will come back to you.
But not the travel for injury will be covered by travel insurance. Yeah, well, we may have to look at leases.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for your finance information, so New Zealand Ultimate is the organising body who's running this, and your money gets stored in a special account. It's set up, it's called a trust account, so it's your money sitting in there. When we pay it out to the travel agent, that's when it becomes non-refundable, but any money that's in there at any time is your money. So the accounts are completely separate from New Zealand.
And likewise, the interest that's earned on those accounts, that money while it sits in there, actually gets distributed back out over organised costs and things as well.
I'm sure Helen will be very transparent with everything. You know, we're not trying to hide anything here. We're not trying to create a profit. Like if you need to see figures and all that, or see when things are no longer refundable, we're more than happy to answer those questions because, again, we appreciate the high cost it is to families.
So like Ian, I also wear multiple hats and I'm the New Zealand Ultimate Treasurer, so you know where to come when you've got problems with money.
So the last camp I noticed was just the weekend before you fly.
That's right, yep. So
you
what?
got enough time to do the washing, or was it?
So luckily if you're in Auckland you do. So what often happens is that teams will travel to the tournament and they'll spend about a week beforehand doing all your training and things like that prior to the tournament. Because Italy has proven to be quite expensive, we decided that it would be cheaper for us to do some of that training here in Auckland and then go over there for a shorter period of time.
So the people from out of town will stay in Auckland, they won't go
They
to
will, yep, no, they won't be going home on the Sunday night and then back up here on Monday.
We have 4 children that do ultimate frisbee. We're about to buy another washing machine. It's diabolical.
Somebody else have a question? No? Last chance? No, not really. Yeah, in what season is it going to be? It's going to be summer. Yeah.
The middle of summer.
Yeah.
But in the mountains, so be nice, cool.
Because it's a northern hemisphere, we unfortunately have to train through winter, you know, there in the middle of summer. But you'll come back with a tan.
Sorry.
How long is the lunch? How long?
12 days, I think. 12. Yeah, about 12 days actually in Italy. Yeah, and then a day or 2 either side for travelling. Okay. Now the thing that will be happening tomorrow, so Ian's going to work very hard this evening, making sure that the video can be sent out to everybody. And I'll be sending out a summary of this meeting as well to everybody. Along with that summary will be your campaign agreements, right? So before you pay any money, have a read through that. It covers players' obligations, coaches and management, and New Zealand Ultimate's obligations, right? Every single player, and if you're under the age of 18, also your parent or parents need to sign that and send that back to me, okay? That's what helps cover you guys and us. If you do have to pull out, if there's something that goes wrong, that's really important that you do send that back to us, and those are all kept on file. Throughout the campaign, you'll get requests from either myself or the 2 team managers for things like copies of your passport, birth dates, any other relevant information that we need, not only for travel, but also for the tournament. You will also likely have to supply a photo because every single player should end up with a player ID. At any time, if you just suddenly wake up in the middle of the night and you've got a question, don't call me, but send me an email, okay? I'm more than happy to answer questions, and if I don't know myself, I will certainly do my very best to find out for you as quickly and as efficiently as I can. Yes?
We know we're looking at getting the letters sent out like for sponsorship and things.
And you let me know that you want one.
We'll probably do it, mail out to everyone once they've got the response.
Last chance, final questions? Turn the video camera on. Awesome. All right. Thank you all so much for coming along this evening.